we're live in my kitchen. Welcome to My Left Frying Pan Facebook Live version today. We worked so hard yesterday. We shot 3 videos that are coming up, and one of them was on how to make pickles, because do you remember that we've already done raspberry jam? Here it is. It's so fantastic. I'm having it on my toast this morning with a cup of tea, and we made it with my friends at Bernard, and they have a great recipe for freezer jam, but they know everything about canning. We made pickles, but you know what? I'm going to get my cozy from my tea. Just talk amongst yourselves while I get my tea cozy. Oh my God! Oh my God, I found something really awesome underneath the tea cozy that I hid at Christmas. We've got some Himalayan pink salt caramels from Purdy's, my very favoriteest chocolate. Oh my God, well, we're going to have one of those too. Anyway, I haven't used my tea cozy for a long time because I've been drinking my tea so fast, but I don't want it to get cold, so... because we're going to be talking for, I don't know, maybe an hour or something. I don't think I put that on right. Anyway, okay, so, well, look at this. So I'm talking about one thing and I forgot the other one. Oh my God, luckily they're still fantastic. Himalayan Purdy's caramel. If you guys have not had one of these, you really have to go and have one, because I was raised on them. They're from... the company's out of Vancouver, and it's iconically Vancouverite-ish. So anybody that's watching from the West Coast knows this is mother's milk to me. These are. I'm just gonna put them over here, and I probably hid them from Scott at Christmas and totally forgot. So anyway, okay. So back to Bernardin, right? So we already did an episode on how to make freezer jam, and thanks for all your comments about yay, you made it. And then yesterday we made pickles. So on September the 7th on My Left Frying Pan, you're going to see our pickle, a whole thing on canning. This is one recipe, and this is the other recipe. This is a Bernardin recipe from their website, bernardin.ca, Scranna's Pickles, and this is my mom's recipe. So, and you'll have to watch the episode to know why I did both. Okay, so I'll put those over here because we're going to draw for the Bernardin gift pack, and I'm going to put their name in this little, is anybody watching? Is anybody actually there? Has anyone said anything, or am I just talking to myself? I'm talking to myself?
Dorothy says that you can get them in Oakville.
You can get what? Purdy's? Oh no, I know, you can get them in Toronto now too, but I hid them at Christmas, so I don't have to go to Oakville, I can just go to my cupboard. Anyway, but they're originally from Vancouver. Okay.
People are watching, but not nearly as many who entered the contest.
Oh, because we have a ton of entries, okay? And so I'm going to draw. How many do I draw out? I forget. Is there one? The one gift pack from Bernardin? Yes. I think so. Well, if there's more, then we're going to go with more. Okay, so I think there's one, and I'm going to, and thank you all for entering. And so when I call your name out, you know, shout out on Facebook. Okay, here it is. There's 2 winners. Here's the winner. Maria McPhail, come on down. Not to my house, but to your Facebook, weigh in. So Maria McPhail, send us an email to
myleftfryingpan@gmail.com.
That's what Sarah said, at myleftfryingpan@gmail.com. Is that right? Ooh, okay. And if we don't hear back from you within, I don't know, a week, then we're going to have another draw, okay? So Maria McPhail, or if anyone who knows her, let her know that she won. Okay, so we're just going to put this over here to hide the chocolates from Scott, and I'm going to eat my my jam later.
Gail Cook is here.
Hi, Gail.
Sean says, my name is not there.
Because you didn't enter it, or you didn't win?
Oh, Barb says we're a great team.
Oh, good. Sarah
It's with an H. So she put the H in brackets.
Oh, okay. All right. So, hello. Hi. I know. Sarah's a great team. Yesterday, Scott and Sarah and I, we shot the 3 episodes, and honestly, it was total teamwork. Okay, so here we go. Now, hey, just a sidebar. So I drink out of a different teacup every morning. And because Sarah was here, I let her drink out of this cup and saucer. Is the same pattern as my great aunt's, and I was telling Sarah the story that, you know, we always drank out of the special on Sundays. It was special, so we drank out of this teacup. this powdered, and my aunt, she would make like the strongest tea, like you could literally, my great aunt, you could literally like melt a spoon in it, and then she would put like homogenized milk in it. It was like the best tea ever. So she got that one, and I thought, oh, you know what? This one looks really pretty. And when I took it out, now I'm left-handed, so when I drink, this is the pattern that I see, right? There's my lipstick on it. But anyway, that's what I see. But when I turned it around, look what it says. It says speedy recovery. Because we were supposed to do this on Monday, but I had that crappy summer cold where you have like this weird sore throat and you have like this horrific like sinus headache and you're really exhausted. Anyway, so I did have a speedy recovery. I'm feeling much better today. But now I think I've torn the mesh of my hernia. So let's just hope that this is going to be a speedy recovery. Okay.
Jocelyn says hello from London.
Hello, Jocelyn. Oh, hi, Jocelyn. Hi. How are you? She's good? Okay, good. All right. All right, I'm moving things around because we're actually going to do something today. We're going to make this salad from... Okay, so Healthy Choice here is one of my many cookbooks I've written, and there's an amazing salad in here that you can only make at the end of August, and it's basically when tomatoes and blueberries are all in season at the same time. Like they're really beautiful tomatoes, like all those wonderful field and heirloom. And so we're just going to talk a little bit about all the different kind of tomatoes that you can get right now. So these guys here are kind of a mixed version of cherry and grape and heirloom. These are called striped tigers. And I love that a lot of the farmers markets, but even in the grocery stores, they're selling these kinds of tomatoes now. And they're really pretty. You can roast them, or you can cut them in half and put them in salads, or just eat them plain. And then there's just plain cherry tomatoes. Once again, these are good for, putting in salads, or if you want to just cut them up and put them into a green salad. And these are grape tomatoes. And grape tomatoes are very similar to their big cousins, which is called aroma tomato. And aroma tomato is the kind of tomato, size matters. I've always told you this. Roma tomatoes are really good for making tomato sauce out of, for putting into a curry, because they're very meaty. Don't put this into a salad. It's gross, okay? Because it's not juicy enough. It's meant to have a lot of pulp, and you don't want to have that in your salad. So I use the Roma tomatoes for when I make curries or Italian cooking. And then these little grape guys, they taste wonderful in basically salads as well, but you can oven roast these as well, and I oven roast grape tomatoes. So yum, yum, yum. And then we have a question. Oh yeah, hi.
Well, Catherine Young says that she just bought beautiful tomatoes from St. Andrews.
Oh, so I bought mine at the East York Farmers Market. It's on Tuesdays, and I'm always so thrilled to go there because I love supporting my local farmers. I'm all about Canadian produce, as you know. Now, these babies are called Camuto, and they're actually greenhouse grown. I got these at Loblaws, and they start off in the greenhouse, and I don't know whether they're actually doing field right now, but you can get them later on after tomato season, and they still taste like a tomato because British Columbia and Ontario have an amazing greenhouse program. This baby mama is a field tomato, okay? So these ones grow out in the field. They're usually kind of misshapen, but this is an F-bomb tomato, okay? So this is for tomato sandwiches. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I posted my my awesome favorite toasted tomato sandwich with a basil leaf. It's just amazing. So I love these kinds of tomatoes. But for this particular salad, we're going to use heirlooms. Now, heirloom tomatoes, they're like an older style of tomato that doesn't transport as well, and so they're not easily shippable, so they're not as, although you can find them in grocery stores now because they take such good care of them, but to find heirlooms is a little bit harder. So we're going to make this salad with some heirloom and some of they also call these beefsteak tomatoes or field tomatoes. So I'm going to just rinse them off under my tap here. Oh my gosh, what was in the sink is the jam nicely there. So always rinse up all your produce really, really well. I don't scrub them because basically the skin is so tender. You don't want to wreck it. Don't wreck the skin All right, that was me channeling the lovely Julia Child. All right, and then we're going, I'm just going to get my cutting board because I don't want to cut on my left frying pan. Here's my little tip, you know, that you put a wet cloth or something underneath a wooden board when you put it on the counter. And then look, it's like a magnet. It's fantastic. So now, how do you slice tomatoes? Okay, well, you use a knife. Well, what kind of knife do you use? So somebody asked me a couple of weeks ago if I would talk about knife skills on the show. So here's one. So when you go to buy a knife, make sure that you get to test drive it. So you don't want to have a knife that's too big. For instance, knives are all for different functions. So I have a lot of knives. Most of them are Henckels. And so this is a knife that's for carving, okay? You wouldn't cut a tomato with this knife. I mean, it's like way too big. These are butcher type knives, but they're also they're called santoku. It's a kind of a style. It's a Japanese. And I use the big one when I'm chopping really big stuff, but you'll notice that I hold it down here. Now, you see people who hold the knife up here. That's not very safe. It's better to give it a really good grip. And so I mostly use this one because I use a lot of smaller things when I'm chopping. So those are my two favorite knives. I also have, this is actually a real butcher knife. This is actually one of my favorites. I've had this for years. I don't know if you can see it, Sarah. Can you see that there's a point that's tipped? Can you see that it's a little tippy right there? It's because one day it fell onto the floor and it was so sharp that it got stuck in the wood. And but I love this knife so much. Oh, and this one. See, I don't throw things out if they. So this one, my nephew was over visiting and. He left it on the element and it melted the handle. But anyway, I'm not throwing it out. It's a fabulous knife. It's kind of a signature knife. Always make sure that your knives are sharp. You actually cut your hand worse if you have a dull knife. So you need a steel. And I just do a couple of these. I do it almost... That's fantastic. I do it depending on how often I use that knife, but you know, maybe once every other day. If I'm cooking a lot, if I'm recipe developing, then I'll use it a lot more often during the day. So you need either a really sharp knife or a serrated knife. This is a bread knife, but bread knives cut tomatoes so beautifully. So if you don't have a really beautiful sharp knife, then having a serrated knife is a really good idea. All right.
Now, Jean is watching while eating a farro corn, cucumber, ox heart, tomato salad. Sadly, forgot to add the basil this morning.
Oh, I got basil in my backyard. You could have come and taken some out. Yeah, right. Anyway, okay. Who's in my garden? Anyway, all right. So we're gonna slice them. I'm just gonna show you the difference. Okay, so here's the regular knife. See, and you shouldn't have to press really hard. So I'm not really pressing hard, but it's still not quite as easy. But when you go with the serrated, it starts slicing right away. So, you know, totally your pick. But depending on how ripe the tomato is, you're going to use whatever knife, either the serrated one or a really sharp one. But look how that just cut it beautifully. So the difference with heirloom versus regular tomatoes is that sometimes they have a different flavor, like they're sweeter. They certainly have a different color. Look at that beautiful green on that one. Now, I'm not going to throw those guys away because they're too beautiful, and I'm going to probably make them add them into a green salad tonight. I'll do another one of these. Oh, I don't know. They called them love apples. Did you know that tomatoes were called love apples way back when? Yes. I think they're pretty sexy. Tomatoes are sexy foods. All right, so I think that's enough. This is going to serve one. A lot of my recipes can just serve one if you want them to. And so, yes, a question?
Marion wants to know, do you ever sharpen a serrated knife?
No.
And if so, how?
No. So you don't ever sharpen a serrated knife. You have to take it to get sharpened. And having even said that, I don't know anyone who's ever sharpened a serrated knife. So that was a great question. You kind of maybe stumped me, but I'm pretty sure the answer is no. All right, and then you're just going to arrange your tomatoes on there. And I'm going to eat this many tomatoes because I love them, and I only eat when they're in season or when our greenhouse industry has got some gorgeous tomatoes. But if you wanted to make this like as a buffet dish, then you would just stack a whole ton of tomatoes on a big platter, and you could actually make the dish like this. So just put that back like that. I'm just going to put this in a bowl for later. Oh, Okay. All right, so now the next thing that we're going to add are blueberries. And blueberries, oh my gosh, I was raised on high bush or cultivated blueberries because I'm from Vancouver. And I've already rinsed them and dried them because putting a wet blueberry onto the salad, they're a little bit damp, but they're not really, really wet. But you see the silver bloom? So when you buy a blueberry, if it doesn't have that silver bloom on it, they're not fresh. That bloom is not dirt. That's just how they grow when they're incredibly fresh. So I'm going to just sprinkle on the blueberries. But if you don't want to use high bush and you've got wild, like you say you live in Newfoundland or in the Maritimes where you've got more access to wild ones, use the wild ones if you like. But I just was born and raised on, the big fat juicy ones, so that's kind of my preference. I spilt one. Sarah, don't stand on it. Okay.
Jen Chef says, you're right, professionally sharpened is the key, but you're not to sharpen serrated knives.
Right, okay. And so Chef Jen is a girlfriend of mine who is a chef, and so thank you for telling me I was right. So get it professionally sharpened. Don't be using the steel on one of those babies. And did you see how I wipe them? I don't put them in the sink. I never throw them in the sink with the water. I either wash them under hot soapy water with a cloth, and I don't get the handle wet because this costs a lot of money, and you don't want to wreck your knives. And so when I see people putting their knives in the dishwasher, it's like, ah, no! And I'm like, slow motion. Like, no, don't be doing that, because you'll just wreck them. These knives, honest to God, the knife that fell on the floor, okay, it survived 3 of my marriages, all right? I've had this knife since my first ex-husband. Yes, okay, anyway, that was just a sidebar. All right, okay, so we've got the tomatoes and the blueberries all really, really pretty on there. Now we're going to add some feta, okay? Now, you know what, I'm going to do the feta after. I want to put let's talk about balsamic. Okay, this is a really important lesson, so if you haven't been paying attention, now's the time to really pay attention. So, balsamic, real, true, authentic balsamic is made in Italy, all right? Now, the Italians, I went to Italy about maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, and it totally changed my way of respecting food, because I went to write this article that was basically, can we eat the Mediterranean heart healthy diet in Canada? And the answer was no, we can't, because we have a different relationship with food than the people that live in Italy. They don't wander around eating stuff, I mean, they sit down to have meals and they respect their food. They eat totally seasonally and locally, but it's just kind of a different way of eating. They don't inhale their food. It's a whole different kind of a mindset. And so if you want to have that mindset, you have 3 meals a day and you sit down and you enjoy them with friends and family, you're kind of eating more along the Mediterranean heart healthy style diet plan. The other thing is that they use a lot of, basically local ingredients. And it actually encouraged me to write the book Homegrown with the Ontario Home Economist, because I was so impressed that they honored all their homegrown ingredients so much. I thought, oh my God, I love that idea. And so I've been kind of doing that here in Canada. But when I want to use something that I know is 100% authentic Italian and not a ripoff, here's how you can find out. So they have a new system where they have a label, and this means that it is authentically made in Italy. Now, this is a bottle that actually came from Italy, this one here, but this one's a PC, and the PC one is saying that this is a 100% authentic Italian. And so that's what you want to look for when you're buying olive oil, or actually the olive oil can have this designation as well, so it can have the orange one. So when you're buying stuff now, when you want to make sure that it's the real deal, like it is 100% extra virgin olive oil, or it's the real Italian balsamic, then look for that symbol. All right, so I'm going to use it aged balsamic. Oh, question, yes?
Beth wants to know, can you use any other cheese besides feta?
Oh, you know what? You could totally use any kind of cheese you want. I got this feta. This is goat and sheep feta, and I got it at a delicatessen. But you could use sheep, you could use goat, you could use cow. But if you don't like feta at all, then you could put mozzarella. Like you want something soft, but you want something that's got more flavor. Mozzarella was a really bad pick. I would do a really aged cheddar, like a 2 to 5 year old white cheddar. You don't want orange on here, you want white. And that's about the only cheese I would actually say. because I really like the way the feta is salty, and it's also got that crumbly effect. And old cheddar kind of crumbles too, so that's what you're going to look for.
Debbie wants to know what cookbook you have on your stove.
Oh, that's this one. That's Healthy Starts Here. That's number, what is that? Number 6? Maybe number 5. This is number 5 cookbook. You can still get this one. I wrote this in 2011, but it's kind of ahead of its time. But you can get it online. Some bookstores still carry it, and I basically looked at all the healthy foods that you could eat by groups, and then told you recipes on what to make. So tomatoes and blueberries have got a lot of antioxidants. There's a lot of fiber. They're good for you. Now, balsamic. So the other thing you want to know about balsamic, in Italy, when they just have a regular balsamic, they don't put all the different coats on, but I've been noticing here in Canada they have these leaves, and so one leaf means that it's maybe not very strong or very thick, and the 4 leaves is like a premium. So this is aged balsamic. It's a bit more expensive, but it's very syrupy, and that's the kind of balsamic you want to put on here. And it comes in a spout, so you're not even, like, they don't really want you to go crazy. So it's not quite a balsamic reduction, but it's similar in the sense that it's thicker than regular balsamic. So anyway, I like it better on that one. I like that it sticks, and I like that it kind of shows the pattern. And then I'm going to put on a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Now, the only two oils that I ever use in my kitchen are extra virgin olive oil and canola oil, because they both are very heart healthy. But I'm a real stickler on getting the authentic extra virgin olive oil. And so once again, looking for that symbol is going to say it also could say DOP on it. If it says DOP, once again, it's authentic. It's kind of like having a VQA symbol. And I'm just saying that there's so much fraud out there with people saying, yeah, it's extra virgin olive oil from Italy, and it's not. The bottle might have been from Italy, or maybe one of the olives. And we had the same problem here in Canada, I don't know, maybe about 10 years ago, where they would say Canada apple juice, and it turned out that the apple juice wasn't Canadian, it was the package that was. So they now have this thing called, you have to declare the original country that it comes from, so product of origin is on the label. So that's what they're doing here, that the product of origin is Italy, and it's authentic. Okay, so we're going to do just a little bit, a little drizzle. Oh, yum. And then we're going to finish up with the feta. Or the 2-year-old.
Other people have suggested Asiago or ricotta.
Ricotta's a bit too mild. It's a nice idea because it's soft, but it's a bit too mild for me. You want kind of a stronger flavor to complement the sweetness of the berries and the tomatoes. What was the other one they said? Asiago. Yeah, Asiago would be a really nice one, but it's a bit hard. I was thinking more the consistency, so like an old cheddar would crumble, but an Asiago would definitely have the right kind of flavor note. That's kind of salty kind of effect, as well as it doesn't crumble, but you could kind of grate it kind of chunky, or you could get a fork into it. And that's it. This is yum on a plate. I mean, this is seasonal deliciousness, and I love this. So that's kind of one of the things I'll have for summer dinner, and then I might have maybe a piece of chicken that's cooked, or a piece of meat, or some fish, or maybe a bean salad or something, but this would be kind of my centerpiece. All right, so before we go on, we have another draw. Remember I said that if we don't hear from whoever her name was, Maria McPhail, if we don't hear from you in a week, we do another draw. Well, we had a whole bunch, we drew for 5 cookbooks from Mustard, the Saskatchewan Mustard people, and 4 of them went, yay, and we never heard back from the 5th one, and so we're going to do another draw today. So I'm going to smush all these up, and here's my eyes, and here's the one. Okay. Moira Tolan, you're getting the Mustard book. So once again, email us at myleftfryingpan@google.com.
Almost.
No, was that right?
myleftfryingpan@gmail.com.
Oh, for the love of Pete, I'm hopeless. Okay, you see, I don't answer the emails. I answer the comments. So, oh yeah, if you're going to comment, I try my very best. I try so hard. Sometimes there's like over 200, but I really, really try my best to answer your comments, even if it's just to give you a thumbs up. Oh, we have another question. Yes?
Marion wants to know, is there any reason you keep your knives in a drawer rather than in a nightstand?
Yes, two reasons. Two reasons. This is three fingers. The nightstand that I had, it kept getting knocked over and falling on the floor because it was in a bad placement because of my cupboard height. And so I decided that I'm not going to show you inside the drawer. It's a bit messier. If I knew I'd stage it a bit more. But I put them in between these sheets of cardboard. They're knife, like, when I go to do City Line or BT, I actually put the knives in here when I travel. And if I'm not in a hurry, I put them back in the drawer like this. But I've got padding on the bottom of the drawer so they don't get scratched. And I put them in between so that knives aren't touching. And I just found for a safety thing, with little kids around or whatever, they're in the drawer and they're away, and they're just, for me, a safety thing. But if you have a knife block, go for it, use it. Knife blocks usually don't have all the same size knives that I have as well, and so the only one that was actually fitting in there was my serrated knife and the butcher knife. So I mean, I had more knives in the drawer anyway. I also have paring knives and a bunch of other ones in there too. Okay, so let's draw for the mustard. That was a great question. I love questions.
We drew the mustard.
Okay, we drew the mustard. Now, it's the big one. We're drawing for the ice cream machine. Oh my goodness, people. We had so many entries, and you know what, and rightly so, because I was so excited about that Breville machine. Honestly, it's like the Smart Scoop. Literally, you just put the stuff in, it makes ice cream for you. And I have to admit, I have gained a couple pounds in summer because, I had to try a lot of, I had a ton of recipes from making ice cream, because I wrote an article. I should post that on my website. All the other ice cream recipes that I have. You know what? I will. Some actually, it's already there on my website, MairlynSmith.com. But I'll see whether I can put it on to. Well, anyway, I think just type in ice cream Mairlyn, and I think it'll come up. There's like 6 different recipes for ice cream. Anyway, so. Yeah, okay, are there any more questions? How long was this? Oh, it's only 25 minutes. That's better, because last time I think I talked like ever. It was like, and then when I was 7, oh, here, one didn't go in. Oh, my goodness. Somebody's name didn't go in there. Okay, so any other questions? Any comments? Was anyone even watching?
Debbie wants to know, did Scott find the ice cream you made?
No, he did not. No, he did not. And seriously, I know that's why I hid these, because I told you he's a treat thief, and he loves these purdies. And I think I'm going to have one right now. Sarah, do you want one? Or you want to have one after? No, have one. After? Oh, I'm not waiting. Okay, I'm having. Oh, you know what? It'll be really chewy, so I'm gonna cut it. All right. I was at a party the other day, and I was eating something, that was like treaty, and a stranger who I didn't know came up to me and said, "Oh my God, I watch you on television. So you don't do what you say you do." And I go, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Well, you're eating junk." And I said, "Yeah, it's a treat, and I don't eat this very often. So, yeah, I am practicing what I preach. I don't eat treats very often, and gee, thanks for watching." But I was like so stunned that they would say that. So anyway, I'm going to eat all of those, but I just thought if I put it in my mouth, it wouldn't be so...
Barb says it's hard to talk and chew.
No, it's not.
Everybody's waiting.
Oh, okay, babe.
And she says purdies are not junk.
Sarah, I'm going to hide these again. Which one do you want, a dark one or a milk one?
Dark, please.
Okay, hopefully Scott won't wash this. I'm going to hide them again. My evil plot's going to work. Yeah, so I never found the ice cream. Okay. All right, so many entries. Thanks for watching. Hey, tell your friends, because we don't get tons more subscribers. I don't know whether we can do this forever. So please tell your friends to watch. Tell them to subscribe. I couldn't say subscribe because I had caramel stuck in my teeth. Yeah, we're having fun here. And So the next one up, next week there's going to be how to cook the perfect roast beef.
And this is on YouTube. Because people are watching on Facebook right now.
Oh, yeah. So you're on Facebook, so you have to go over to YouTube and then type in My Left Frying Pan, and then you can subscribe or not. But then when you watch it, like there's a whole bunch of videos, like there's tons. We do a new one every week. But for the subscribers, for Canadian subscribers, so, you know, we picked your name out, and then we'll make sure that you are a subscriber, and then you'll get your present sent to you. And we can only do Canadians. I'm sorry for all my UK and my US followers, but it's because of shipping or something. I don't know, something. And what else was I going to tell you?
Oh, Bobby pointed out there's a flaw in your plan.
What?
If Scott watches this...
I know. Yeah, he does watch everything I do, too.
He'll notice that you...
Okay, just a minute. Turn the camera and look at the tomatoes, and I'm going to go re-hide it. Thank you for the great tip! Oh my God, that's just genius. I know where I'll put it. He'll never find it in the new hiding place. Excellent! Thank you! Who said it again?
Bobby.
Bobby, I love you! Oh my God, that was genius. Yeah.
Lisa wants to know if you can do something on fish, recipe on fish.
Yeah, we did. We already did some recipes on fish on My Left Frying Pan. And my cousin Charlotte from Newfoundland was on it, and she told us how to make sure you get a fresh fish. So, do you remember what the episode is called on My Left Frying Pan? Which one we did? How to cook fish, I think.
How to cook fish, I think that's what it was called.
How to cook fish, yeah. So, yeah, that's easy. So, yeah.
And there's a recipe in there, too. It's not just how to cook fish.
Oh, no. There's a recipe. And also, there's tons of recipes in all my cookbooks. So you can go to my website, too. Okay, so I'm not going to look now. And I'm going to pick, we have to have a drum roll. Oh, I have a jump eye. I should have got my jump eye down. Okay, drum roll, eyes closed. Okay. And the lucky winner is... Carolyn Good. Good for you, Carolyn Good. You've won the Breville Smart Scoop. So send an email to, I'm going to get this right, myleftfryingpan@gmail.com. Woo! Third time lucky. Oh my God. What a slow learner. Okay, no, that's for that one. Where's the plastic bag? Oh no, there isn't. Oh, here it is. Oh, I almost wrecked that evil plot too. Okay, so ice cream, Carolyn Good. If you weren't watching, you have a week. And if you're not, so everybody else, you know, if you know Carolyn and you like her a lot, maybe tell her. If not so much, well, maybe you can hopefully have your name drawn in a week if we don't. That's evil. I can't even believe I said that. Anyway, okay. So, I want to wish you all peace, love, and fiber, my 3 favorite words, because without peace in your life, you're going to be unhappy. Without love, you'll be unhappy. And if you haven't had any fiber, you're going to be so unhappy. Yes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being fans. And until next week, we'll see you. Bye.